Depending on the number of trees he intends to tap in a day, he's up as early as 4 a.m. Wrapped around his head is this lamp, a fibrous twine for elevation and other tapping rudiments as he makes his way to the bush where the trees are located.
This business has helped me and my family, but the challenge is sometimes I fall from the tree. Sometimes when I climb halfway and realize the tree is slippery, I put in effort to maintain balance. In cases like that, the only option is to make your way down and go up again.
At Sides Udi, another community notable for the palm wine business is Abuoga Nike in Enugu East local government area. Abuoga is also an agrarian community with an estimated population of over 1 million persons. Again, many of its young male population are already drafted in the direction of palm wine tapping. Another vista is opened to us as we journeyed into another settlement where the craft assumes another dimension, bringing to bear the multiplicity of benefits and value the palm tree produces, which tends to fulfill a biblical saying that there is a hope for a tree that has been cut down. The tappers in Abuoga have a double-edged approach and a genuity to the art of tapping. Aside the upwine, which is the produce that comes from the top of the palm tree, they have a specialty in the tapping from palm trees that have been cut down owing to exhaustion from long years of production, which is popularly referred to as down palm wine and traditionally known as Ogudwani. This process of palm wine tapping entails slashing of palm trees flowers already cut down a month before until the wine begins to run. A plastic bag is attached to the freshly cut part of the root to collect the palm wine. This time, the plastic bag replaces the gourd or gallon attached to a standing tree due to the width of the tree.
So we tap Ogudana during April to September. Once August 31st, we stop Ogudana. Then Nkwenu will start from September 1st up. During the April, you will not see Abalak from Nkwenu. That's why we cut Ogudana. Ogudana, we cut Ogudana during April. When you cut Ogudana, it will last like 1 month before you clear all the leaves, before you start tapping. So we tap Ogudana from that 1 month till 1 month. After the 1 month, that one has ended, it has dried up.
Although it's one business that trickles financial income into his pocket and guarantees some decent means of livelihood for his family, though fostered on him after his father passed on, the stress of earning from his trade is quite overwhelming.
I plead with the government to help palm wine tappers because they do suffer. When they bring palm wine, people will price it down. They didn't know the value of palm wine. At least I believe if government will help palm wine tappers to at least minimize palm wine, at least bottle it so that it can be transferred to other country or even this country so that it will be value. So that people will know that the palm wine tappers, what they are suffering and how they are going about the palm wine. Not when you carry palm wine come to market, they will price it down. They say, they will say 1,005. They will price you 500. 500. If you sell like 500, how are you? What is in Nigeria that you can buy 500 this time around?
Onukube is another tapper who tries his hand on both up and down wine. He makes his way to the top only to realize the flower is not ripe after a routine check. He climbs down with plans to check all the trees. Part of the hazards of the job includes loss of life, as a lot of people have died climbing palm trees, with some losing their limbs. His decision to become a tapper is not different from that of others in the community seeking a decent life for themselves and households.
Palm topping is a good job, but tedious. Imagine having to climb about 10 trees daily just to find wine, sometimes with very low yield. However, I still make a living. We are grateful to God for preserving our lives when you consider hanging on these lines high up there. There have been several fatalities in the course of this job, but we remain undeterred. We need intervention from government in the provision of safer implements to climb these trees.
Martins Anikwe, a professor and the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture and Natural Science at the Enugu State University, shares his thoughts on how to make the business more lucrative and less life-threatening for the tappers.
That's our dream, to develop palm wine, develop a processing technology that will lead us out of the doldrums. Because, you know, if we start producing a lot of palm wine, canned and then high-quality bottled palm wine, what it will lead to is that people will start the export business. And when people see that there's a lot of business in it, people will jump into it. We'll start planting, we will start harvesting, we will start tapping, and then sending it to the industry to process and export abroad. It's going to be a billion, not even million, a billion naira, venture, given to the fact that people from this part of the country, so many of them live abroad, and I can see people, very huge demand of Nigerian palm wine in the United States and all over Europe, and we start doing it just like Italians do for red wine. So I see a future, but we need to galvanize this future, bring the potentials, come out with specific policies, to help us to move this market forward.
Another expert from the same university speaks on the better processing and packaging method.
What our government should do is just to go to those areas, visit to know their potentials, visit individual tappers within those areas to know their potentials. Then try to educate them and also empower them. So by the time that they will now get the palm, they don't need to go to the market and sell it for maybe for local consumption. We can now have a factory that can now process them and bottle them, like the way beer is being bottled. It is a very good venture.
When it comes to the business and tradition of palm wine, the state government is also concerned about the various inhibitions to the trade. The State Commission of Agriculture outlined steps by government at ensuring better yields.
We have a policy at the Ministry of Agriculture. What we do is that at a point, we'll now remove or replace the old seedlings with the new ones. Recently, His Excellency the Governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Ifeanyi Wine, approved some money for us to buy new seedlings, and we got about 30,000 seedlings this time around. We've cultivated into nursery, and we're waiting at a point where we will now advance it to the people that will put it on ground. The issue is that we have leveled out a measure whereby the extension officers will check and know if these people are cultivating those ones that are procuring from the Ministry of Agriculture.
I'm not sure after watching that you want to grab a cup or a glass of palm wine, especially if you're not averse to alcoholic beverages. We salute the courage of those still in the business and hope that the endeavors can be interrupted by technology. That's the much we can bring to you this week. Bye for now.